for tuning in to Bella Within, a sacred space where feminine wellness meets the healing wisdom of your soul. I'm Anya Bella, a devoted guide and educator in feminine wellness, here to walk with you as you reconnect with your body, restore hormonal harmony, and return to the truth of who you are from the inside out. Welcome back, beautiful, to the Revival series, where we talk, we heal, and we evolve together. This is your safe space for girl talk, self-discovery, and empowerment. Each episode dives into topics around girlhood, self-care, confidence, managing relationships, and healing. Think of it as your big sister chat, the one where we laugh and learn from each other while becoming a better version of ourselves. Today's episode is Sacred Boundaries, Protecting Your Energy as a Woman, plus 6 steps to start now that I will reveal to you by the end of this episode. So, something really interesting while I was writing the script for today. I thought back to how my friends always tell me that I'm just too nice to people. And on the one hand, I take it as a compliment because I think it's important to be nice to people, but I think there's another side to that statement, right? And that other side is I put others before myself and I also prioritize their feelings first over my own. This caused me a lot of inner emotional chaos. So, this episode is for creating boundaries with everyone, romantic partners, friendships, workplace relationships, and etc. Today's mantra is, my energy is sacred and I have the right to protect it. I have broken this episode into 3 main talking points. Part 1, why are sacred boundaries important? Part 2, setting boundaries without guilt. Part 3, reflection and how to start setting boundaries in our lives right now. Part 1, why are sacred boundaries important? Well, boundaries protect us from the world around us. In times like now, it's more important than ever because there is so much evil in the world right now. Not everyone has your best interests at heart. Some people project their pain, jealousy, or their control onto others. And if we don't have strong boundaries in place, we end up being vulnerable to their attack. Think of setting boundaries as the front door to our home. If you leave the front door wide open to your house, you're allowing just anyone to walk in and have access to using your kitchen or using your restroom. Well, most of us don't keep our front doors open, right? Now the door is shut, except you didn't lock it. Now it takes minimal effort for an intruder to get in when all they have to do is turn the doorknob, and once again they have access to that 70-inch flat screen TV in your living room. Let's take it another step further. I think majority of us lock our front doors. Now if someone wants to come into our house, they have to be granted permission from us. This is typically where people struggle because how do we know who we let in and who we keep out? A house is a lot easier because we can invest in high-tech security systems, advanced locks, and so much more. If only there was a security system we could buy to protect our energies from energy vampires surrounding us. By the end of this episode, we will be talking about how to build that internal security system within yourself, so stay tuned. Last episode, we talked about feminine energy, and those trapped in our feminine actually attract energy vampires. The solution isn't to be less feminine, but to learn how to set boundaries without guilt. Part 2, setting boundaries without guilt. Something I find interesting about this topic is I never hear men struggling with setting boundaries. Now, yes, I'm sure there are some that do. Men in relationships typically have less tolerance for things they do not like. They are very quick to cut people out of their lives with little to no second thought. Again, this is just an observation I have made talking to guys and having male friends. Yet, we as women are always told to give men and other people in our life grace. I want to give an example. So, there's this song called After the Pain by Betty Wright. It came out in the 80s. Not sure how old my listeners are, but it's a good song. You should go listen to it, especially if you love old school music like myself. She sings about how much pain she's been through dealing with a man. And still, after all that pain, she still loves him. Let me read some lyrics for you all. Okay, I have 4 stanzas here. Stanza 1. Here we go. Yeah, you're right. I sure did. I said I'd never take him back again. Well, it's a woman's prerogative to change her mind, isn't it? But we do it all the time. Don't laugh, you probably done the same thing too. You know one thing time has taught me, that having a piece of man is better than having no man at all. So I'ma just take what I got and work with it. You understand what I mean. Now I'm going to skip to the last 2 stanzas. Don't blame Mr. Charlie. Mr. Charlie is just a man, and he's doing the best he can, I heard him say. That's why I still love you like I do. After the pain, the chorus sings. Though you still do me like you do. Okay. And that was the end of the lyrics that I've presented. Wow. This is deep, right? If you haven't listened to this song, go listen to it after this episode. I know this song is from the 80s, but I think it remains very true still today. So many women still think we are supposed to excuse male behavior because he's just a quote unquote man. Why are we giving passes to men for having a different body part than us? Now, I want to unpack, why do women feel like this? And how do we break this cycle? The answer is actually a really easy one. It's because we live in a patriarchal society where men tell women how we should act and behave, and these ideologies have been passed down from women to their daughters for generations to come. Do you guys know what a patriarchal society is, or what patriarchy means? So, just a real quick Google Oxford definition: a system of society or government in which men hold the power and women are largely excluded from it. I live in America. This is very true in America. Women, we need to deconstruct from the frameworks that the patriarchy has taught us. Every time you have a self-doubt or a limiting belief, I want you to pause and think to yourself, where is this idea coming from? Get to the root of it. Is this something that I have been told to think by society, also known as school, work, parents, family, boyfriends, husbands who conform to the patriarchy? If the answer is yes, you need to dismiss that thought immediately. That thought does not serve you nor define you. You have been socially conditioned to take the identity that other people have labeled you as your own. The best thing for you to do is to redefine who you truly are, erasing all identities that other people gave you. Stay tuned for an episode in the future to talk more about this. If you're interested in that type of stuff, let me know in the comments, please. But we're getting a little off task, so let's now transition back to setting sacred boundaries. A lot of people think that setting boundaries can come off as mean and selfish, but actually, setting boundaries is a form of self respect. People who do not have self respect have zero boundaries. That may have hurt to hear, but it's time to get real. I want to close part two off by sharing one more thing in case, for whatever reason, you still have guilt about setting boundaries. Men are more attracted to women with self respect and self confidence. Yes, in case you don't believe me, science backs this up. A study was done to measure age and gender difference in mate selection criteria for various involvement levels. In its results, it states not only are men more attracted to women who are confident, but those women who have more self confidence than themselves. I will link the article in the description if you want to read more. And y'all, don't even rely on science. Go do an experiment yourselves. Go out and ask 3 men if they would rather date a girl with self confidence or one who lacks it. By the way, if any man says that they'd rather date a girl who lacks self confidence, run for the hills because he is probably a narcissist. Part 3: Reflection and how to start setting boundaries in our lives today. So, different types of boundaries. In psychology, there are several different types of boundaries. A lot of times people think that there is only one form or sector of boundaries, but that is just not true. So, we have physical boundaries. These protect your body, personal space, and comfort levels. Women often feel pressure to tolerate unwanted touch or invasion of space, although we have full authority over our bodies. Sexual. These protect your right to consent, safety, emotional readiness, and personal values around intimacy. Intellectual or mental. These protect your thoughts, ideas, beliefs, and your right to disagree without being judged or silenced. Emotional. These protect your feelings, your capacity to care, and your right to not absorb everyone else's problems around you. Material and financial. When you feel pressured to give things away or spend money when you do not want to. How many times have you spent money on something when you did not want to, but you did it anyway because your friends were? Time. These protect your schedule, energy, workload, and commitments. One of the most violated boundaries for women. Now let's go over what healthy boundaries look like versus unhealthy. So first we'll do healthy. Being able to say no and accept when someone else says no to you. Clearly communicating both wants and needs. Honoring and respecting your own needs and the needs of others. Respecting others' values, beliefs, and opinions, even if they are different from your own. Easily and confidently able to share information. Flexible without compromising yourself in an unhealthy way. Now, unhealthy boundaries will look like saying yes to taking on a new project at work when already feeling overwhelmed. Giving someone the silent treatment rather than communicating why you are upset. Easily compromising personal values, beliefs, and opinions to satisfy others. Being coercive or manipulative to get others to do something they do not want to do. Oversharing personal information and then feeling guilty. Here are the basic 3 steps to set boundaries. Step 1: self-awareness. Start with reflection in trying to identify what are my own needs? What or who is currently draining me? What situations have I been in that makes me feel uncomfortable? Step 2. Communicate confidently your boundaries to others. You can use I statements to help you achieve this. For example, instead of "you make me feel pressured," you can turn that into "I feel overwhelmed when plans change last minute. I need more notice." Now it doesn't sound like you're attacking them. You're just expressing your feelings. Step 3. Be consistent and feel no shame. A boundary without action is just a suggestion. I am going to say that again because I think it is really important. A boundary without action is just a suggestion. When someone crosses a boundary, remind them and step away from them if needed. Do setting boundaries feel mean? Why is that when we are responsible for our physical, emotional, and mental wellness? Lastly, remember boundaries are a form of self-love. Now, I want to give some specific examples on how to set different types of boundaries to those 6 subcategories I mentioned earlier. Number 1, physical. If you feel uncomfortable, tense, unsafe, or physically drained around certain people or an environment, that may be a sign you are lacking physical boundaries with others. Some things that you could say are, "I don't like being touched like that. Please give me some space. I'm not hugging today, but I'd love to give you a fist bump." That last one is really interesting because I think about children, and in some situations, children are forced to give hugs to people who they don't know, like strangers. And some kids don't want to hug people because it makes them uncomfortable. Like, why do we force a child to give a stranger a hug? It's really quite odd. Next, number 2, sexual. If you feel pressured, confused, guilty, or violated after sexual interactions, this may be a sign your sexual boundaries are being crossed. Some statements you can say are, "I'm not ready for that. I don't want to do anything sexual tonight. I need to feel emotionally safe before being intimate." Number 3, mental or intellectual. If someone talks over you, belittles your ideas, argues aggressively, or forces their opinions onto you, this may be a sign your mental boundaries are being crossed. A few phrases you can say are, "I'm not comfortable debating this. I don't want my ideas to be dismissed like that. I am allowed to think differently than you." Number 4, emotional. If you feel drained, guilty for saying no, or responsible for other people's moods or reactions, then your emotional boundaries may be getting crossed. A few phrases you can say are, "I can't be your emotional support right now. I need some space to process how I feel. I don't accept being spoken to like that." Number 5, material or financial. Do people use your things without asking? Ooh, that's one of my biggest pet peeves right there. Pressure you into spending money or take advantage of your generosity? Then your financial burdens may be being crossed. A few phrases you can say are, "I don't lend money out. Please ask next time before borrowing my things. I can't afford that right now." Number 6, time boundaries. Do you feel rushed, overwhelmed, overscheduled, or guilty for wanting rest? A few phrases you could say, "I only have 10 minutes to talk. I can't commit to that. My plate is already full. I'm not available until after 8 p.m. I hope those 6 tips help, and I hope now you will be able to incorporate setting sacred boundaries in your romantic partners, in the workplace, in school, and in friendships. And that beautiful brings us to the end of today's revival episode. I hope this conversation reminded you that boundaries aren't walls. They are your protection, your peace, and your power. They are the spiritual lock on the front door of your life. You decide who gets access, how long they stay, and what parts of you they get to experience. Your physical safety, your emotional well-being, your mental clarity, your finances, your time, none of these are negotiable. You are allowed to say no without feeling guilty. You are allowed to rest without apologizing. You are allowed to protect your energy without explaining. These are not personality traits, these are life skills. As you move through this week, I want you to hold on to today's mantra. My energy is sacred, and I have the right to protect it. Repeat it, breathe it in, and embody it. If this episode spoke to you, share it with another woman who needs this reminder. And make sure to follow so you never miss an episode. We are healing, evolving, and rising together every week. Thank you for spending this time with me, for choosing yourself, and for doing the inner work that so many people run from. I'm proud of you. Until next time, remain Bella Within.